back to my channel. My name is Nightmare, and let's go on with Eyeless Jack. Now, there are quite a few ways you can go about him. This was a mix between two versions I did a few years back. You can make him more human-like or more ghoulish-like. And we're gonna just start off with Ticci Toby's makeup left over. It's gonna get all covered up again by the face paint, and we're gonna go with a mix of white and gray, more specifically Storm Cloud. We're gonna speed right through all of this because, as I've mentioned before, me and tiny tools. That is a small brush. That is just asking for streaks, and you're gonna see that I do something that I kind of thought about it on the spot. I didn't really think it through, but it kind of worked because of the consistency that I was putting onto my face was more creamy than watery. As you can see, I have little patches of different tones of this mixture of white and gray, which unless you do a pre-mix of a lot of pre-mix, you're gonna have to remix to the point that you're gonna have different shades of lighter and darker. So I tried putting whatever came up lighter in the high points and darker in the low points. And you're gonna see in just a moment, I think, if I'm right there. So I put a little bit of water, just a little bit of water on my fingertips, and I'm right there smoothing out all of it. So I'm spreading all the face paint that I have on my face, because it was extra creamy. By using a makeup brush, the consistency becomes more creamy than it does more watery or more like watercolors. So it's really good if you're trying to cover a wide area and then smooth it out. So with the black, we're gonna start off. This is a very daunting step. We're gonna make ourselves eyeless. Yeah. And we're gonna just go right for it. I did it a little bit more cartoonish and made it wider than my eye socket, or as close to my eye socket as possible, even a little bit onto the high points of my cheekbones. And it doesn't have to be very precise. The version that I went with like I said, is a mix of a more human and more ghoulish. So I went more intermediate cartoonish, if that makes any sense at all. And then we're going to start with the tears. So what I'm doing really, I'm going with just recreating basically the mask on top of me. With all the black goo tar tears, I would think that it's not very pretty, it's not very kept clean just because he's eyeless. Doesn't mean like somewhere this goo has to go, not just on top of his mask. I mean, if it were to go on his mask, it would definitely go on his skin. That's trying to put logic into something, again, that does not exist. But to each their own. Again, it's all creative interpretation. Going very heavy on all the tears. Some of it I kind of try to make them like real tears, others more drawn out tears. You can see that I'm going with the realism and the illustration mix medium right there. And once that is set, we'll go ahead and with black eyeshadow. Oh no, we're gonna go ahead and really pronounce the eyebrows because they kind of got lost with the gray face paint, as well as my eyebrows are just brown, and I don't know, I thought black was gonna make it more creepy looking. Most villainous characters have black eyebrows, even if they're blonde. So it's not that far out in the realm of character design, now is it? And there, I made a little mistake that I just incorporated it. So using black eyeshadow, we're gonna go on top of all the black areas with eyeshadow. This really makes sure that the face paint, especially around the eyelids, especially when you open your eyes and such, in the crease area, it just stays black and opaque. The more you use, when you use face paint on your eyelids, as the day goes by, if you use this for multiple hours, even a singular hour, even half an hour, the skin starts to show through and it starts fading away or being sweated off. And we don't want that. So with eyeshadow on top of it, it kind of really keeps it there, as well as mattes the shininess of the face paint. So it makes it more realistic, and if you were not to be next to a bright white light, like I am in front of two, you can really hide away your eyes in that void. So it really looks like it is Eyeless Jack. And like I said, I went for the more cartoonish, ghoulish gremlin mixed with realism, and I went ahead and painted into the same color gray as my face and neck these removable elf long ears that I have, and lightly also went over the tips of my own actual ears just so it blended a little bit more, but I didn't really go all the way, like I didn't really go out of my way to paint fully my whole ear, because I still had at least one more character to go after this, and I didn't want too much leftover gray in that area. Mixing, so taking away the white on top of the gray, so I went more for like unmixed gray, the storm cloud, and used it to contour the areas of my face to really at least give it some definition. The moment that you use a solid color on your face, you really wash out all the features. You see, I went with white down the bridge of my nose. I really carved out the lips, the sides of the nose, as well as the jaw and temple areas, to really at least give some sort of dimension, and tapped it down with a little bit of water to blend between the edges. And I also went ahead and defined a little bit more the hollow of the Adam's apple that I was trying to achieve, just to give it again an extra bit of dimension down there. It's not quite necessary, especially if you're gonna wear a hoodie, but I wasn't wearing one, so I was able to at least do something down there, so it wasn't looking so just neutral pale. Oh, I just realized I'm just cleaning up my fingers. My fingers were all gray, but also like playing around with my face expressions, because it's so bizarre to look at me with just black around my eyes. And again, the same wig as I used for Ticci Toby, trying to fix it up a little bit. And the mask. Now this mask, I made it from paper mache, a basic white mask base that I believe I've gotten in either Michael's or Joann's years ago. That is fabric on the eyes, but I can actually look out of them fairly well, no issues. The tears were hot glue that then I painted acrylic black on top just so it wouldn't be shiny. But you could definitely go ahead with black hot glue, and then with a little bit of black paint I kind of weathered it a bit. And just depending on the angle that I put the mask on my face, I actually don't need any straps for it, but I kind of have to keep having my head tipped back a bit. It would probably look really cool while wearing a hoodie. I had plans to make ties so I can keep it on continuously, but I don't really cosplay this character much, if at all. I'm not quite even sure why I've kept the mask all this time. I think sentimental value, and I really slaved over this mask to look as good as it does. So it's one of my greatest works, I think. If you have any other questions, just comment below. And until the final video of this series, bye!